Beside him, Albert Friend, the recent Rotax Max Challenge Grand Festival winner at Kerpen. Glenn Schwillen's demoted to third place. Alongside him will be current championship leader Boris Maximov on row 2. Alexander Van Meeuwen, and doing double duty, Denny Babicek back in and actually qualified P6 in Minimax. Carlos Nees and Rory Armstrong ran at the top 8, with Len Abbas and Max Sudurski, who is currently second in the championship standings. They ran at the top 10. Thomas van Vliet, Jent Themunen, Boris Verhagen, Marlon Di Salvo, Felipe Reis, Zega Fransen, Lieke van Berkel, Bran van der Weken, Thomas Verheyen, and Jacob Ashcroft and Victor Reutz. Victor Reutz got a front fairing penalty and fluid was found on the clutch, thereby a technical exclusion. And also Jacob Ashcroft was also demoted via exclusion to the back of the grid due to an ECU transgression. So the drivers now onto their formation lap, ahead of 13 minutes plus an additional lap of racing. So current air temperature 16 degrees and sunny. There was a lot of rain predicted over the course of the weekend. We did ask some of the drivers earlier on, actually yesterday afternoon, which we have actually just posted all the interviews from yesterday afternoon, which included series organiser Esmond Osman, two of the title protagonists for senior Rotax, Kai Hillets and Sean Butcher. Glenn Van Perez, who's looking to, along with Kai Hillets, possibly one of two people that could end up with 4 BNL Karting Series titles come the end of this race weekend. And good to see Willie Anderson, Lewis Gilbert's granddad, joining us. I have got a response to the challenge that Jennifer, Lewis's mum, actually sent me earlier on this week, which kept me up at night. But there we go. Jennifer, you'll find out about that a little bit later on, just before the pre-final. So, 21 drivers, 13 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap. The lights are ignited on the starting gantry, and the timer is ready to start ticking away. So it's Van Rooyen, Friend, Schwillens, Maximov, Van Meeuwen, Babicek, Nees, Armstrong, Abbas and Sudurski. That is your top 10. As that is 10 and a half rows of competitors. Title set to go down to the wire this weekend and might even get to the end of Sunday afternoon's proceedings. The drivers exit out of turn number 12. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise. Are we steady? Are we ready? Let's go. Lights down and racing. Let's see who gets the best start as Van Rooyen pulls across to defend from Albert Friend, who's already got round the outside, and so has Boris Maximov into turn 2. Great move by the pair of them. Some carts going here, there and everywhere, and even onto the runoff area. 3 abreast going through into turn 4. That's a bit dicey in the middle of all, and that was Thomas van Vliet from the Netherlands. But up to turn 6 for the opening lap, and it is Albert Friend and Boris Maximov trying to pull away. Zega Fransen's a bit towards the back of the field, and Jacob Ashcroft trying to make his way through in the meantime. They come out of the Europlan into turns 7 and 8. Now the drivers make their way out of turn number 9, and it is line astern between Albert Friend and Boris Maximov. They were competing in the Minimax Class 4, the Euro Trophy this year, and Maximov won it by just 1 point. Third, it's Van Rooyen. Fourth, it's Sudurski, who's launched it and now launches it up the inside of the 103 through turn 12 to take third place. That's a great initial opening lap, and here comes Denny Babicek. I think he's got through as well. They have done so. And Babicek also now trying to go side by side with Sudurski. And that was through turn number 4, so a great exchange. Van Rooyen looking up the inside of the 112 going into turn 4, but can't get past. Now Alexander Van Meeuwen now into the position just behind Rory Armstrong, who this weekend is under the Strawberry Racing awning. A big development that he announced on his social media earlier on this week. And it was good to catch up with his mum and dad, Orla and Andy, just earlier on this week when I arrived here at the circuit, and also on FaceTime. Thank God for modern communications. So the driver's now heading into turn number 10. But it's Albert Friend that leads from Boris Maximov. We're about to complete lap number 2 as the Brit leads the way. And the gap between first and second was just 92 thousandths. It's now just under a tenth and a half. But Maximov has got the slipstream going into turns 1 and 2. Babicek keeping Swiderski very, very honest indeed, but it's advantage Maximov in the battle for the title. Maximov sends it up the inside of Friend going through into turn number 6. Friend takes a very long look over his left shoulder, then does it again. Closes in on the back bumper of the 130 from the Netherlands. Go through into turn number 8. Albert Friend had a little bit of a nose up the inside of Maximov, and now Swiderski runs side by side on the run down to turn number 10. This could give the opportunity for Babicek to close, which happens in with the 1-1-2. Doing double duty, so straight out of a Micromax into a Minimax. I spoke to his eldest sister, Teresa. She said, yeah, there's been times when I've actually been in 4 different classes when I've been racing in Czechoslovakia, which is impressive enough. And now Swiderski was quickly looking up the inside of Friend. Now the move's starting to take place through into turn 2. Babicek's going to go through, and the 199 drops from 2nd to 4th through one corner. Van Rooyen is there. Van Meeuwen is there. Armstrong is not too far away either. Neither is Jent de Moonen, as we have got a slow cart. That is Marlon Di Salvo from Germany, whose cart looks to have broken down, is now being pushed into the pits. As Van Rooyen has got through an Albert Friend, who was on the outer curbs, and now he's lost 3 positions. Van Meeuwen's got past now Armstrong, and now make that Jent de Moonen. So Albert Friend hitting, well, touching the curbs on the outside of turn 7. Might have got a little bit hot into the corner off of the Europolan, carried a bit too much speed. But they've got Carlos Nees. Glenn Schwillens has now recovered up to 10th position in the meantime. Schwillens, who started in 3rd place. 9 minutes to go plus an additional lap. Maximov starting to stretch a lead over Swiderski. Babicek waiting the wings to see if he can get past. Van Rooyen now switchbacks the inside through turn 2, and was side by side with Alexander Van Meeuwen through turns 3 and 4, and the 103 from the Netherlands gets through. Van Meeuwen sends it up the inside, and there's Rory Armstrong looking up the inside of the pair of them, and he leans forward, and I think he's done the pair of them through turn 6, and he's got the move done through 7. Van Rooyen up the inside of Van Meeuwen through turn 7, and Armstrong is through. Brilliant work from the youngster from County Down in Northern Ireland. Absolutely magical stuff here. But keep your eyes on the driver in 12th position, the 142, based out of Weston-super-Mare, Jacob Ashcroft, has started from the back of the field, and he's now up into 10th place. He's running with MDB Motorsport this weekend, as there's another tussle between Van Rooyen and Van Meeuwen going through into turn 12. They are side by side. That's going to open the doors for those behind. And there's quite a few of them. And now Swiderski's got the lead from Maximov. Swiderski now leads. Maximov in 2nd. Babicek in 3rd. 4.5 tenths, and now Maximov loses another position. Down to 3rd goes the Dutchman as they go down the Europolan into turn number 7. A minute to go until we hit the halfway point of this race, and there has been plenty of contretemps, plenty of racing overtakes, and there's more happening behind, because there's an absolute field train behind, and that is being led by Rory Armstrong in the 168. And Armstrong's Armstrong's trying to get away. Ashcroft is making mincemeat of those in front right now as we go into just under 7 minutes plus an additional lap. And Ashcroft's now 1 place away from getting into the top 10. So it's Swiderski leading Babicek, leading Maximov. Top 3 covered by half a second. A further 1.7 seconds back, it is Rory Armstrong who's got Alexander Van Meeuwen. Albert Friend up to 6th now. Van Rooyen down to 7th. Jent de Moonen, Carlos Nees, Felipe Reyes and Jacob Ashcroft. And now Ashcroft's going for the move up the inside of Reyes, going through turn 7 off the Europolan. And the 142 makes it through now up into the top 10. And he was looking up the inside of Carlos Nees through turn 9, was the 142. I still remember the days when I was commentating on the Bambino Winter Grand Prix back in 2018 in the pitch black at Wilton Mill, and he came from stone dead last, having a DNF in the Piri final, and went on to win it by a comfortable margin. He has also been racing up and down the United Kingdom, as now we're seeing a little bit of a move back behind, as Alexander Van Meeuwen has got past Rory Armstrong for 4th place. Albert Friend has now lost out of position. I think that is Mats van Rooyen, who is running with Dams Racing these days. But Sadurski still leads. The two title protagonists as side by side go Armstrong and Van Rooyen. Van Rooyen gets through. Friend looking on the inside of Armstrong. Can't slingshot past him down the inner Polan and has to slot in before turn number 7. And whilst the two behind are battling, that is Jenthe I believe. That might be Jenthe and Carlos Nees. That's going to open the doors for Jacob Ashcroft. And he is waiting behind them. He's got Jenthe in front and then Carlos Nees. So 5 minutes to go, or just over 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. The top three have clearly broken away. That very much is clear and obvious to see, as there is a move. Jenthe passed by Jacob Ashcroft through turn 12. And now that puts the Brit up into 9th place. 12 places gained, and we're still 5 minutes to go. How far up the top 10 could Jacob Ashcroft get in this race? But a little bit further up the field, Alexander Van Meeuwen now has Mats van Rooyen up the inside through turn 6. That could open the door for maybe Albert Friend. Not quite at this moment, as the Brit has to slot back behind the 127. And now a little bit further behind, there is more action happening, as I think that might have been possibly Carlos Nees that's lost a position or two. That would have been from Jenthe. And now it's 3. Oh, well, nearly. Ashcroft nearly gets compromised going into turn number 10 out of turn 9. Albert Friend bumps over the curves on the exit of turn 10. He's got past Van Meeuwen, then it's Armstrong, then it's Ashcroft. And now Ashcroft goes for another move, this time up the inside of Armstrong through turn number 12. As he made it through, they're going to be side by side, but Ashcroft's going to get the side draft here. Down into turns 1 and 2. Armstrong keeps it pinned to the outside. Well defended. But Ashcroft to still have the goal to try and throw it up the inside of who's been competing in this for the entire season. And I've just seen that Felipe Perez has got a 5-second time penalty for pushing, as Armstrong now gets one up the inside courtesy of Ashcroft. And now he's going to lose one to the 107 of Reyes, that's going to lose that position due to the 5-second time penalty for pushing. But at the front of the field, Max Sadurski has lost the lead to Boris Maximov. 3 minutes and 18 seconds plus an additional lap still remain in this opening pre-final of the weekend. And the two title protagonists have got a young Czech upstart right with them. Babacek is still here to win just like they are. As Sadurski, Maximov went wide to defend. Sadurski tries to go up the inside, accidentally touches the back of the rear bumper of the 130. And Babacek nearly had the big barn doors at the farm opened, just as a courtesy. But with 2 minutes and 40 still remaining on the clock, there are your top three, covered by less than 2.5 tenths, as now Sadurski flies past, outbreaks Maximov into T7, off of the Europolan. That was perfectly done, but now he's going to run wide, nearly opened the doors there for Maximov to get through, but held on to it. So with just over 2.25 minutes remain, the battle at the front of the field has just been absolutely epic, but then it's the hornet's nest behind. And now I've seen Jacob Ashcroft is behind Alexander Van Meeuwen and running 7th. So the top three, 0.36 separate them. Van Meeuwen is about 2.8 seconds adrift. Albert Friend is in 5th. So it's Van Rooyen, Friend, Van Meeuwen, Ashcroft. Felipe Perez has got a 5-second time penalty. Maximov looking for the undercut on Sadurski. Might get it because he's got a good run coming out of turn number 6, and this could allow... Do not make it 3 wide, Denny Babacek, but he manages to get through, and so does Maximov through T7. Brilliant racing for the Minimax drivers, and then Sadurski manages to keep it pinned through turn 8. Babacek having to pull off the throttle for that one, and still keeping himself there. But we have got a kart actually stricken on the outside of turn number 4. Driver getting out of the car. I can't quite make out the number. I think that I'm not 100% if that might be. It looks like an OTK chassis. I'm not too sure if it's the driver in 9th, Rory Armstrong. I'll find out very shortly as everyone is crossing the line. It is, that's a real shame for Rory Armstrong. Technical issue through turn number 4. dropping him out of what was 6th position. Actually, it was 8th, I think, or 9th. And now the 3 at the front of the field with 40 seconds to go. It's handbags at dawn, I'm afraid. Everyone's got out the Gucci, the Prada, the Louboutin, the Burberry. They're all swinging them around the place. And now these 3 are putting on an epic battle of what we've had over the last 12 and a half minutes or so. And we've still got one more lap to go once the timer has hit 0. But it's Sadurski that leads. Denny Babacek in 2nd. Then Boris Maximov in 3rd. 4th, it's Mats van Rooyen. And who's with him? Oh, that's Jacob Ashcroft. Ashcroft now genuinely going for 4th place. He's going to get the run on the 103. Pulls to the inside, down the start-finish straight. And he's got through before turn 2. And now we're on to the penultimate lap of the race. Lap 14 out of 15. Unfortunately, on lap 2, Marlon Di Salvo was pushed into the pit lane. And then on lap 11, as Denny Babacek takes the lead from Max Sadurski, and Boris Maximov gets through back into 2nd. And now Maximov trying to go through. Oh, they're nearly touching wheels of the top 2. Maximov goes through. Out late. Oh my goodness. Babacek went up the inside. Max Sadurski was trying to get through. He nearly gets the pincer movement coming out of turn 7. And they still make it through. And now look at this, folks. You want a grandstand finish for the Mini-Max pre-final. Here it comes, because look, the cavalry's come along to fight with him. It's now a 6-way scrap. Joining that battle, Jacob Ashcroft, as Denny Babacek retakes the lead as we go on to the final lap of the race. And now Ashcroft is going to battle for the race lead. He's in 3rd position, right up the back bumper of Max Sadurski, and they both get through on Babacek. Babacek keeps it pinned round to the outside. So does Van Rooyen. And now Sadurski leads. Ashcroft drops to 4th in the melee, and there's a bit of a touch. Albert Friend goes off, having a little bit of a touch, and I think that might have been with Boris Maximov. Ashcroft's going to go up the inside of Van Rooyen through turn 6 as we go down the Europlan for the final time of this race. And leading through it all is Max Sadurski. And this is going to give him the advantage he needs to get a good start to the race weekend. As they come out of turn 9 for the final time, 3 more corners remain. Sadurski, Babacek, Van Rooyen, Ashcroft waiting in the wings to go for 3rd, and he could get a good run going into T12 as we are about to find that out. Ashcroft pulls to the outside, he's going to get the over-under, but out of the final corner, Max Sadurski takes the win. Denny Babacek takes 2nd. 3rd, it's Mats van Rooyen, as there was a little bit of a moment over the curbs through the exit of turn 12 for Jacob Ashcroft, who comes from stone dead last to finish in 4th place ahead of current championship leader Boris Maximov, who completes the top 5. And folks, it was a second, or just over a second, between the top 5 after 15 laps. Wow, that was a kickstart for the Mini-Max action this weekend here at the finale. And what a way to start the conclusion of our 15th anniversary season. 6th, Alexander Van Meeuwen. Albert Friend in 7th. Felipe Perez 8th, Carlos Nees in 9th. Thomas Van Vliet rounds out the top 10. Glenn Schwillens, Boris Verhaag, Thomas Verheyen, Jent de Moonen, Lieke van Berkel, Len Abbas, Zege Fransens, and Bran van der Weken round out the top 18. Victor Reutz unfortunately retiring with 3 laps to go. Rory Armstrong in 20th, finish at his race ending on lap 11, and Marlon Di Salvo on the 2nd lap.